Hi, everybody. I wanted to look for this week also at the Readers Report for the Writing Proficiency exam. Now, every writing proficiency exam you take, whether it's the test, the time test, or the portfolio, is going to use this Readers Report and this rubric so that everybody kind of has an idea of what the readers are looking for. First, the Reader's Report is divided into 3 areas. 2 of them are worth 4 points apiece, and then 1 is worth 2 points for a total of 10 points. To pass the writing proficiency, you have to have at least a 7 on the timed exam, or you can have a 6.5 on your essay for the portfolio, and then the readers will look at your other essays that you're turning in to kind of see if you're able to do, or you have been doing, the work that you would be expected to do as a college writer. Okay, so the first area of evaluation is in critical thinking. So basically for critical thinking, it's subdivided into 3 other areas. Do you have a clear position, right? Are you using a thesis? Are you focusing on the issue that the question is asking? Do you keep that focus going throughout the paper? Do you not go off on any tangents? And are you thinking deeply about it? Are you doing that analysis? And we'll get to the synthesis next on the issue that the readers are looking for. Second, are you synthesizing the materials? That means, are you bringing those materials together and kind of using the arguments within each of the readings and kind of showing how they connect to each other? I want to see that you're quoting, summarizing, and analyzing the passages that come from there. Remember, I've told you that I want a quote in each paragraph, each body paragraph at least, in order to, show that you're really using those sources. And are you attributing those ideas? Remember the page number, telling us what author is writing it, and yeah. So, and then finally, for the critical thinking area, are you organizing the argument in a good sequence? So, are you using kind of logic to go from point A to B to C? We'll get to that later. I think we'll start looking at that either this week or next week. Once you guys have those paragraphs that I'm having you write all down, because then it becomes a little easier to figure out, where the ideas need to come in, what more you need to add, and what order they should go in. Good. So the second area, also worth 4 points, is critical reading. So note that first thing that they talk about is those key terms. I know I'm hitting those key terms really hard, but that's going to be really important for your writing. So are you finding the ideas that are really important in the readings? Are the authors kind of using different definitions, or are they connecting their definitions of key terms or different words that maybe they're thinking of the same kinds of things? Do you kind of break down those ideas, and are you showing the reader what those ideas mean? So you definitely want to tell us a little bit about what those key terms are, right? That's part of the definition. Again, here's the analyze and evaluate. So are you finding the pieces of each author that are pertinent? Are you looking at what the authors are saying and then kind of arguing with them, or kind of using them to argue your point? Are you kind of showing what's fact and what's opinion, or if sometimes authors disagree with each other. This isn't the case in our reading set, but if the authors are disagreeing with each other, are you kind of showing where their arguments lie? Examining that evidence that each author is giving and kind of assessing how well you think it's working or not. And then are you kind of weighing those issues back and forth? So a lot of these things are kind of saying similar things to each other in slightly different ways. Then finally, again, the word synthesize. So are you bringing together these ideas and showing how they relate? Are you kind of looking at that relation as you go and kind of connecting all these ideas to have one larger point that you're trying to make? Note that some of these things connect between evaluation areas too. You can't do good critical thinking about a reading unless you've read it really well, and you can't read it really well without being able to think through the ideas that it's presenting. So everything really works together when you write a paper. So finally, the third part that's worth 2 points out of 10 is called the elements of writing. So in each paragraph, do the ideas come one after the other, so you're kind of leading the reader from point A to B to C? Are your paragraphs kind of long enough but not overly long and just kind of rambling on? A lot of this will be taken care of with the Texas style paragraphs that I'm getting you to write, so that's kind of why I'm doing that. And then finally, I know a lot of you are worried about your grammar and about how, that you don't have perfect grammar. But look at this. It's only half of the 2 points are about grammatical errors and being clear in your sentences. So let's say it's only 1 point out of 10 that's really grammar. But so these are more kind of the ability to write sentences and paragraphs that can help clarify your critical reading and your critical thinking. So don't think that it's you don't need to try to write better, but it's not worth a ton of points. So this is what I'll be using to grade your essays. Note that you in the writing proficiency exam, you have to get at least a 7. But we're going to keep working on them. So don't feel like if you don't get a 7 with your first draft that you're going to fail the class. Okay. And then finally, I'll write some sentence notes so that I can get into a little more detail on what I want you to do further beyond these kind of 1, 2, 3, 4 circles. Okay? As always, if you have any questions, let me know. These can be rather difficult and seem rather arbitrary sometimes, but I think they do a pretty good job of assessing your writing outside of just can you write sentences and paragraphs, right? So, if you have any questions, let me know. And otherwise, I will talk to you later.